getting started with the MPC live, right? Before we even turn it on, let's just look at all the options that we have when plugging it up to a speaker, what we can plug in, whether it's USB, MIDI, so on and so forth. Here we are. So we have phones where you can plug in headphones of certain sort. We have the built-in speaker, which you will hear. That's what I'll be playing it through, is the built-in speaker, just fully in standalone, nothing else. Right, so this is to turn the speaker on and off. You have the master. You also have the rest of these outs. You have your recording volume for when you plug things in here, whether it's a microphone, a guitar, anything like that. As well as you can see, you have this way of plugging it in, also this way of plugging it as well. You have MIDI in and MIDI out. The beautifulest thing about this is that you have USB. You have two of them at that, two USBs, right? And then this would be the USB that you would use to connect it to the computer or to upgrade the software, anything like that. This is the plug that you use to plug it in. That's the power button right there. See, I have an SD card plugged in here that I use. I like using the SD cards more than the USBs because it's just like safely in there versus the USB hangs out of it. So like I said, the power button is on this side, right behind where the volume master button is, right? So you press the button in, it will light up and get ready to turn on. There you go. So it's MPC, right? You wait for it to load. Oh wow, so look, as I turn it on, what happens is there's a new update. And I just updated this one, and this video is gonna be about the current update. So let's just see. So this would be my first time, and maybe your first time looking at this new update. So updating. Give it a few more moments. So this is what it says. So new plugins are available. That probably comes along with this new update. I will download them later. Yeah. All right. So here's our main screen when it turns on in general, right? So you have options, right? You have project templates, which these are templates of different genres, right? You know, kind of like mainstream genres that the average person will probably be coming on here to do something with, right? You have them right there, right? And then down here you have demos. So demos are things that already have tracks on them, different chops, different loops are already like inserted for these specific genres, right? So that's the different. The template is the tracks are already made with different ideas of those of instruments that fit inside of these specific genres, just to give you an idea of like your workflow when working with those genres. But when it comes down to the demo part is like the name, it's like giving you demos of those specific genres that you can like pretty much just open up and press play on. So if I go to, let's just go and see all the options they have. I'm gonna go click on old school, right? Old school in the demo. Just let it load. Boom. So when it opens, this is what you get. This is old school, and see it says old school template at the top of it. I don't know what's underneath the first track. Just gonna press a pad. Okay, so this is the drums. Right, so those are the drums, right? So I'm gonna click on main, right? I'm gonna go to track view, right? Clicked on main and went to track view. So now it's showing me all the tracks that are there. So the one that I'm on, number 1, as you can see, right? Now number 2. So these are drums as well, right? hats. All right, so got everything loaded, right? New update. But yeah, so I just opened up an empty track. They automatically put like a drum track in there automatically. So I have that open, right? So this is what you're looking at, right? The only thing that's on anything right now is just a drum, right? On each different pads, right? With all the individual hits. One thing to keep in mind is that you can come up here and you have up here that says full level, right? Full level means that when you hit the pad, right, it keeps it at full volume, meaning like it's sensitive, like the velocity of it is very sensitive when you touch it. When you take that off, then it makes it, to me, I like it when it's off sometimes, because when you're playing, you don't want everything to be at the same volume. Sometimes you want it to be like kind of like loosely, like how you're playing it. Like if I hit this hard and then I barely tap on the snare, it would be like, you know what I'm saying? It would just make things a little bit more cohesive. So that's what you have that for, right? And then of course the 16 levels is if you get one sample or one sound, like legit one little chord or sound from a keyboard or even a voice or anything, you can say add it on to say one pad, have the 16 levels on, and it basically splits it all into 16 individual like octaves of itself. So people that are doing 808s and you want to sound, you know what I'm saying, unique, it would be, instead of using the same sound all your beats, you could split everything and get like an octave in between what you're used to using, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so we have everything open, right? So we're gonna go to the menu, right? On the menu screen right here, we were just in what we call main mode, right? Since the drums are on there's a few things we can look at, right? We have the traditional grid, right? Where you could use the grid to look at, what's being played, as you could see. And then as you record, everything will get lined out right here. Okay, so we have that to look at. But then we also have the step sequencer for people that like this kind of a thing. Right, see, it's lined out, like people that like to view things like as they record, and then, you know what I'm saying, ones can punch in different things, right? You could pretty much punch in the drums if you would like. And you have the arrangement view for when you actually have arrangements and things set up, right? So coming back here, right, then you have track view, and this will show you all the tracks lined out, what is muted, what isn't, arming or recording, input and output, so on and so forth. And it will all get lined out right here on this screen, right? And that's at track view, right? If you're making hip hop or certain things that require sampling, the sampler is going to be your best friend, right? The sampler, you open the sample, right? You would arm recording when it's time to arm a recording, right? You either come in through vinyl, you can plug your phone in. Remember, you have all these input outputs. So you can plug an aux cord in, plug it into your phone, you know what I'm saying? Or you could simply plug your keyboard in or guitar, and you can arm and you can sample, right? When you're done sampling it, right, you're gonna get brought onto a screen to where it says sample edit, right? So you have that sample, and then you can begin to start chopping the sample, right, with individual squares, and you could pretty much chop your sample that way. And then when you're done, you'll basically be assigning it to the pads, right? It's more simpler than it sounds, right? So that's your sample view and everything like that. Right, so those are your main functions as you open that you're gonna need to be worried about, like pre-recording, before you start recording. Those are things that you would be going for, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up a beat that I was already working on, right? And show you the individual parts and what it would look like in the sampler view. I'm not going to sample something live in this specific video. I'll save those for when I do live streams because of copyright purposes. I've recently turned my YouTube into, into the official artist page, and like everything, I've just been trying to keep everything as strict as possible with content, since they know before my page was before it was a what you call an official artist channel for YouTube. I would get copyright strikes for my own music. And I would be like, yo, this is me. Like, it's the same name. This is me. I'm the guy. And like, it didn't matter, So now that I have that, it's like I don't get copyright strikes when I post my own stuff. But I'm very cautious of getting copyright strikes for just 2 words being said from someone's song. That's like, it pops up. And I'm on the road. I'm on the road taking the steps to monetization. So just for anyone watching this, it's like, yo, show us you cutting the sample. I will be live on YouTube once a week, doing stuff from scratch on this MPC. If I'm not live playing my guitar, I'm live doing this. So just look out for those videos every week. Feel free to comment to ask me what time I will be live this week or the other week, depending on when you see this video. But yeah, I'm going to open up a track that I already did and just show you what it looks like. All right, here's a track that I have open right now. I'm going to click on track view right here. Boom. Now I could view all of the layers of stuff or anything that I have. I can see what's playing, what's being muted. Since these new updates, few things have been moved around on some of my tracks. I made a video talking about it, which you could see on my channel, about the pros and cons of the new update. Overall, I love the new update, even though during making this video, there was just a new one. I don't really know what much has changed too much yet until I start to, really study what got improved and maybe what got worse, This is coming all through the built-in speaker, by the way, right? All through the built-in speaker, and that's where the volume is at right there. So now, let's look at something. Should we just go back here? Let me go to number 1. So these are the samples, right, that were chopped. Right? I have them on the pads. You got 16, but you can obviously legitimately keep going forever. The next track is where the drums are. Right? So pretty much what I'm trying to show is you have a track layout like you're on a DAW, like a normal DAW with it laid out like this. Maybe we're used to looking at it like an arranger like this. You know what I'm saying? This is what the new updates and stuff arrangement view is looking like. Obviously, this looks completely foreign to the average person that uses a normal DAW of some sort, but it is still it's still an arranger view, which I'm happy that is on here because I finally get to see and move around. I love to structure my beats into different layers, different things, and my workflow was very slow prior to being able to look at this arrangement view. Like, honestly, even looking at this and being able to turn the volume up and down like this while I'm listening to the full track. Just having it laid out like this, you know what I'm saying? Having it laid out like this is just a lot better, you know? It's a lot better, man, being someone. Like, I use Logic to record all my vocals, or like if I'm making a guitar song or something like that, and then like MPC pretty much for everything else, you know? So okay, see? So if you go to sample edit, it's gonna always show you each sample of everything that's being played. So this is like a drums, right? So you can, even though these are drums that come with the MPC, you can still cut off parts, edit it, pretty much do everything. So although you can use the stock drums, you could still turn the stock drums into your own individual drums, resave them, and now you got a whole new drum kit, you know? Or sometimes what I like to do, if I'm sampling something, I'll try like to, you know, be as creative as possible, take like one snare out of the song that I'm sampling, and like, you know, go from there, one hi-hat, and then like I said, you can put them on the pads, you can turn on 16 levels, and now I have different octaves of this one hi-hat and different octaves of this one snare, and then like from there you can pretty much create your own kit, so on and so forth. I like this feature too. It's the track mute. I love this. This is always on here, but I love this because the song could just be playing live and you can pretty much just mute something on the fly, you know. And so this is the main screen that you will see when you open your MPC, the main screen where it shows you the stuff, right? Has the shortcut here to where you can click on the arranger. This is cool, like where you're on the main screen, boom, right? By the way, you could turn this knob and see I went from track 2, track 3, track 4, so on and so forth. So track 2 is sample versus these are more MIDI, right? So that's why they don't show an audio file. You can obviously turn it into an audio as well, but be careful because sometimes when you turn the MIDI into an audio and you have the MIDI cut at a specific spot, the audio sometimes elongates itself, like, you know what I'm saying, like air, like it's basically just like playing nothing, just background noise, and it like obviously will probably mess with your loop, you know. So just be careful when you are doing that. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's had that problem, but yeah, since the update, that's been a problem that I've had. This is list edit, where it shows you all the stuff. This is a little bit more advanced, not to worry about. This video is purely just to show the different features within the MPC that ones can, and like how quickly you can pretty much just turn it on and just start making stuff, you know. It's very, very easy, you know. You just turn it on, start making things, right? So look at the view, right? This is a view from the grid. So like just like any other program, when you're looking at a grid, that's what it would look like. All right, let me make it bigger so it doesn't look like we're looking at something foreign. You know, that's the grid. All right. See these buttons down here, so you can quickly, if you double tap on this, right, the first function of it is the mixer, right? But if you double tap it, it takes you onto the sampler, right? The first function on this is the mute, so you can easily press that and then the mute a track live. Like say you're doing a live show and you want to mute specific parts, you can do that. But if you double tap it, it brings you to the sample editor. So you can do that for everything. You got main screen, double tap grid, menu, double tap browse. Now you're able to go through songs and look for what you want to look for. Okay, you have record, you have overdub. You have to make sure that if you're recording something that is on the same exact grid, something that you see that's on the same exact grid, you want to make sure if you already recorded a layer and now you're like, all right, let me record another layer in this same sequence, you're gonna need to make sure you press that overdub button before you arm a recording and then press record. Because what's gonna happen is that overdub will erase. You're trying to overdub and make something, put something on top of something, but instead it will pretty much delete everything that you recorded prior to it. So they definitely want to keep an eye on that. Yeah, you know, especially if you're working fast, you're moving, you don't really notice. All right, we're gonna come up here. You have automation, right? You have step sequencer, right? Like I was showing. So this is where it shows you can pretty much punch in things. I know some people use DAWs where they can easily punch in stuff. I don't really use that stuff, but if you're one of these people that like to punch your drums in, like just pretty much click away, then you can do that, right? And then this has a double tap, right? Double tap it and see if it goes, and then it could basically click everything in, right? So you have copy right here, copying something and then double tapping it to delete. You don't have to do this double tapping. You can go do things manually, but I'm just showing you the double tap feature, right? You have undo, but then you have double tap, then you can redo. So you have each button has two functions usually. You have erase, right? You got 16 levels versus notes. Notes is where it's playing the individual notes, and 16 level, you know, two different things. So you can switch from, you can go to notes, and after you open in notes, right? There we go. Now it's showing me the notes that are in the Pacific scale of whatever it is. And then I could switch it from there. I could switch it from that to, like, say you got notes here, right? This is the individual notes that will be inside of a C scale, right? But then you have the chords, and these are the chords that will also fall inside that scale. And then you can change, obviously, the progression, so on and so forth, right? So you got progression. You can customize it as you please. So you can pretty much do a lot. If you're a person that doesn't really play instruments and things like that, and like you don't really know much music theory, you can click on chords right here, and it will show you the chords that are inside that exact scale. See, I just turned to D flat to D. It's showing me all the chords that are available, and even if you don't know how to play those chords, you can just be one tap away, right? It will be one tap away to play those things, right? So hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. Everything I do on this channel is just straight natural. I'm not here to sell anybody anything. You know, morally share my experiences being a music artist and a producer, musician, all the above. And I also like to share any knowledge that I can on anything. That is what my channel is dedicated to, the music that I create, and also how I can help others that are creating music do it efficiently. You know, if there's something that gave me a hard time for years and I finally found a loophole or a trick to get it properly, I will be posting it. I will not be gatekeeping anything. So check out my channel. If there's anything that you like, subscribe and leave a comment with anything that I can do to help you guys in anything further in the musical realms. So I'll see you guys later. Tune into the next video.